When we work with statistics, we gather data from a group of subjects, or a sample, in an attempt to draw conclusions about the group to which that sample belongs, a population. Although there will be a number of techniques and calculations we will perform to form and develop these conclusions, we can draw some very important elementary understandings from considerations of the data itself. One of the key ideas in any set of quantitative or measured data is the idea of a center, or a point around which we can say that the data is somehow grouped or balanced. The center can often be seen as a sort of typical value for the measurements taken from the sample. It also marks an important point in the general analysis of any data set. An average, or a mean, which is the term we'll normally use, is a classic measure of center. When someone asks about a class average on an exam, that mean is a very rough guide to how the class as a whole did on that exam. To find a mean, add up all the measurements and divide that sum by the number of measurements. If the result is not one of the measurements, that's fine. Another form of a statistical center is a median, the middle measurement from a particular sample. Arrange the measurements least to greatest, and the one in the middle, or the average of the two in the middle if the sample size is an even number, gives another sense of what is normal or typical for this data set. We can calculate the mean and the median for any data set, but certain applications often call for one or the other. A mean is the most common measure of center for a data set that is generally grouped around one point and is fairly symmetric. Statisticians and analysts often use the median for data sets that are less symmetrical, those that exhibit what's called skew. Although it's not a true center, the mode, the result that shows up most often, can be an interesting detail when considering data. And as a very quick tool to get a general grasp of a data set, we can calculate a mid-range. That's simply the average of the lowest and highest results. These measures of center are extremely important, and the mean in particular will become a necessary part of many calculations. But this is only one part of the consideration and analysis of data. How the data is gathered and distributed around these centers is a necessary part of understanding a sample, one that we will investigate further when we talk about variation.